Ba 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 da ba. Ba 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 da ba. Co with the flow. Ba 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 da ba. Ba 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 da ba. Co with the flow. Hey y'all.
That was a good one.
We're back. We're back, baby.
Hey guys.
How are you?
I'm good.
I was wondering how our viewers were doing, but I'm glad you're good too. I see you all the time. Welcome back to episode 3 of Co with the
Flow.
There we go. I like how you got that flow in there. It's Alexis and Shannon again. We're so excited to be back with you guys because I think this, like our niche and why we started this is because you don't really see many co-directorships. Just in general, and kind of a newer thing, but especially in admissions. Like, there's always a director of admissions, and, like, that's it. And so when we were like, what are we going to do for episode 3? We had something else in mind, and then we were like, scratch that. Like, let's just do something totally different. And going on with, like, things that make a co-directorship work. But before we get into that, we just got through move-in day.
We did. Yay.
It was hot.
It was very hot.
No, it was so hot. And then we go into a storm as well, which those of you who were affected, our hearts go out to you and your family and loved ones that were affected by the storm that just passed through Florida and up through Georgia and South and North Carolina. But yeah, if you guys don't know, we are on Apple Podcasts. Thank you, Lane. Woo! That's our show producer. Lane's new title is show producer, not show manager, producer.
You really do
produce the show.
You do a lot.
We appreciate you, Lane. But we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. So send us out to your friends. All right, let's get into this. Okay. So, when you think about a co-directorship, you're like, what in the world is that? Mm-hmm. How does it work? What do you need to make it work? And so when thinking about episode 3, I was like, what are some things that make our co-directorship work? But I actually found some things on HuffPost.com, and there were like 8 things that you need for a co-directorship. And so Shannon and I are just going to kind of go through those things and talk about how we either work through those things or we don't. Like, I mean, it's not always glitz and glamour.
Yeah, we're still learning it. And even when it was brought up of like, this is what the plan is, we were obviously really excited for the opportunity. But also we're like, okay, what does that mean? Because even we were not familiar with it at all. It's like, how do you separate the duties when you've seen like one person do them for so long? Yeah. It's like, how do you even separate it? And so I think we're still navigating those waters. I think we're still navigating that. But it's been a fun roller coster, but we're still learning.
March, April, May, June, July, August, September, like 7 months we've been doing this. I mean, even when we were associate directors together, it was more of a co-associate directorship. We didn't really say that though, because we weren't making the
decisions.
Yeah, we were like just giving a decision was thought about. What do you think about it? We give our input, and then somebody else was making the decision, so we didn't really have to think about it. But I think this is a good time to also talk about if anybody, not even just admissions, but like corporate, whatever it is, and you're thinking about doing a co-directorship, I think, it starts at the beginning of making those job descriptions. So Shannon and I were both tasked to sit down and take the director of admissions position and like separate the two things and then add bits and pieces of things we were already doing. And we really worked on each other's strengths on that. Some things Shannon had to let go, some things I had to let go, and it wasn't always easy, but we're working through it. So let's jump into it.
Yay.
All right. So the first thing that the HuffPost says to making a co-directorship work is trust. Yeah. Trust is a big thing.
A big thing, because you want to trust that this person is either on the same page or you trust them enough to be able to be like maybe what you did or what you said, or maybe your idea is not the best, but like this is why this maybe other idea is better. But it's being trustworthy that this person can do what needs to be done when you're gone, or say what needs to be said, or have your back as well in conversations of like, we're going in most meetings together. We have a plan of this is our thoughts on this topic, and we need to make sure that we're both on the same page. Maybe a paragraph here, a paragraph there, but we have to be on the same page because we want to come across as we're
a united front. Yeah.
But we have to trust each other that whatever I say, she's going to back, and whatever she says, I'm going to back.
Yeah, I think too, I will say sometimes, like, the good thing about our co-directorship and the thing that we have to admit as well, she was my boss. You were my boss before. And so I grew up in a leadership family, military family background. And so you don't really question authority. You just kind of just go with it. And so I had to gain that trust from you early on of like, hey, you're my boss. Like, we're going to make it work. And then you were my boss for like maybe 3, 4, 5 months. And then I got an associate director that came in, and she wasn't anymore. And then you weren't my boss anymore, but you were like with the same level as my boss. It was just weird. So like, I think the trust part, we got lucky to already build that before we got in this position. It also talks about, not being afraid to show your vulnerability to the other person. Yeah, we're not afraid of that.
No.
We're open books with each other.
Yes.
And you have to be that way if you're going to be a co-directorship with someone. Like, you have to be an open book and tell the other person when you're struggling, when you're not having just a good day in general, so that the other person can pick you up when you're down.
And also, about things that maybe you're feeling, and sometimes that kind of communication can be uncomfortable, but that's okay. And it could make everything better and stronger. And it may be weird in the moment, but like, you trust that person enough that you're like, you're going to come back the next day and you're like, okay, like back to the grind, like back to where we were. It's not like you're going to sit on it and you're like, ugh.
This is awkward.
Like, this is an awkward, and we share an office as well.
Yeah, we do.
We look at each other every single day from 8:30 to like whenever we leave.
6:30. So
yeah,
I mean, we pretty much leave together. So I mean, and that leads me into point number 2. Like, the other point is over communicate. Yeah. We communicate so much. We go home and we're still communicating with each other, which I encourage everyone to find a balance. Like,
yes,
Shannon and I have like really realized maybe it's the generational thing of, our parents, what are they? What would they be considered? Boomers. Mm-hmm. Our parents are boomers. I'm sorry. Our parents
are boomers.
And like, it's the thing of, you go to work, you do your job. Mm-hmm. You don't question why. You just keep working. Whereas like, I'm so thankful that we have a team that is younger that has taught us how to have work-life balance. Like, it's a rare thing now that we take our laptops home. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember when we first started, I knew when I first started, my laptop was going home with me every single night. Yeah. And now it's like, it's okay to leave my laptop at home 2-3 nights a week. At work. I'm sorry, not at home.
No, you're good.
I get my work done, please. If my boss is watching this, I'm sorry, Jeff, or listening. I get my work done. But we over communicate to the point of like, when we are like, it talks about overuse the CC function on your email. If I'm sending an email, Shannon's getting CC'd on it. I think there was one time, what'd you say, you had like 700 emails in your inbox, and you're like, and guess how many I had to reply to? 4. And I was like, ooh, my bad.
Yeah, when I got back from vacay, I had a lot of emails. And I mean, it's nice to be in the loop, obviously, because when you're like, decisions are you're in meetings and you're like, what was that about? I mean, that still kind of happened because it was just so much. But yeah, I only had to respond to like 5 out of my however many was in there. But yeah, the over communicating is, and sometimes it's also, like
just silly stuff.
And also being friends. And it's so like, we talk about, our lives and what's happening. So we know a lot about everything. And then so bringing work into it, over communication is a good thing, but also it's like finding that good balance. And I think we're finding that balance as well. But over communication is not a bad thing, because I'd rather know, goodness forbid something happen or a family emergency and she can't go to a meeting or I can't go to a meeting. At least she would know or be in the loop of things. Or if something happens with our team and we need to sit down with a team member, being open in that communication of, and we're very open with our team members. Oh yeah. But with each other as well, of like, this is what I'm dealing with this member and blah, blah. So that way, not like asking for advice or like, what do you think? It's just, this is what I'm dealing with. And if it happens, or like, if you see this,
bring this to the light, bring this to my attention. Yeah. Like that. Number 3 is plan. we have this whiteboard, okay? I am a whiteboard junkie.
She loves whiteboard.
Love Excel, not Excel, excuse me, Expo. Excel. I do not like Excel. I'm sorry, I don't. That MBA killed me. But I love Expo markers and I love the whiteboard. Like the whiteboard is my thing because I'm one of those people, I can erase things, I can check things off. So we have a whiteboard in our office, and first on the Monday, like we get into the office, like we have a director's alignment meeting every Monday at 11 a.m. So if you want to talk to us, 11 a.m. may work, but maybe not because we're trying to align ourselves up. And it's really good, especially like during the yielding season, because we're putting on there like how many admits do we have, how many deposits do we have, how many, like where are we in the funnel of where these students are. And so like we write down our schedule of like, okay, this is what we both have together. Okay, what is your to-do list? Okay, what is my to-do list? I think it's also a good way of holding each other accountable. But that's how we're also able to see like with the planning of like, oh, remember you said this in leadership, don't forget you need to plan this out. This was said, this was done. So I think planning things is amazing as well, but also just it's a good way to tweak what our roles do because we got the opportunity to really craft our roles in a way. So like certain things come up and we're like, okay, like for instance, a counselor advisory board. This is something that Shannon did last year, was just told to do it. Bless her soul, she made it happen. I don't know how, but now as a director of recruitment, that's something I'm taking on and kind of working through that process. So it's like planning those things out, like asking her, oh, how did you do this? But then planning on how I'm going to do it differently or adjust things this upcoming year.
Yeah, and I think it's good too I have my own notebook. I like to kind of see that I crossed it out, maybe not as much erase it, but having the board is good because then I can kind of see what she's also working on and what's on her to-do list, and it reminds me of things that I think about that could support that as the person that works more on that back end of things. Like what can I do to support that? Or, oh, you have, a recruitment manual, I'm just using an example, but like, can I build a bunch of queries ahead of time? Can I do these sort of things ahead of time that can help make this easier for her? Or help her, train the team on these different things. So, and her seeing my list, vice versa, it's like, oh, that sounds like a really cool report. Maybe we can build off of it into doing a call job or emails or an email blast or text or an Instagram or a TikTok video or something like that. So, I definitely think having, at least seeing it, even if you have your own list, being able to see the main aspects of both of them is important.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's, you hit a nail on it. Sorry, I was like looking up something and trying to like, this is how podcasts work, you guys. Like someone will say something, you like tweak something, bam. It's like, bam. All right. It says step 4 is to get a coach. I think that we've been fortunate in 2 ways to do this. Obviously, the person who put us in this position was Dr. Lisa Bunders, who we talked about with Dutcher. Is it Dutcher LLC or I can't? Yeah, Dutcher LLC. Dutcher. It's Dutcher. Yeah. So Lisa was our interim senior VP, and she still coaches us to this day. Like we could call Lisa and like Lisa, okay, I don't know what I'm doing with this, and can we go to our senior VP, Dr. Jeffrey Gates? Give it up. Woo! Appreciate you, VP. We can, we know we can, but it's also having a coach as well to help us through is something that's really great. I think another way that we're fortunate, my dad is a life coach, okay? Dr. Jason Glenn Coaching, hit him up. He's on Instagram as well. He has been tremendous and instrumental in our paths. I mean, he's my dad, so it's a little different.
Together but individually.
Yeah, together and individually. You've worked with him.
Yeah. I've had my individual sessions, some really good sessions, like opening stuff up. I laughed, I smiled, I cried. And
in a good way.
In a really good way, yes. In a really good way of holy moly. It was kind of just clearing off some blocks and clearing things up for me to realize what I can do to move forward. So no, having that sort of person to go to, and we call them in
all the time
when we're frustrated about stuff, or just to get a third perspective from somebody that's out of
who's been in higher ed
but is out of our university, is not in enrollment management, and just kind of getting that whole separate perspective from somebody that has been a leader in multiple areas for lots of different things and varieties.
26 years per se in the United States Air Force as an officer, retired as a major, then was a dean of students of an institution, then was a vice president of student affairs, has a DBA, has you name it. He's done so many things. Like, I feel like a proud parent. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. And it's so hard sometimes when it's your parent to sit here and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to listen again. Like all these things. But like, he genuinely has helped us in that aspect. And I think one thing he's really great at is like telling us not what we want to hear, but we need to hear. And sometimes it's not always something that you want to hear, but it's like,
but it helps you grow.
Yeah.
It's needed for growth to hear something that maybe you don't want to admit, like you're just pushing it down. But it helps you grow and helps you realize, like, how can I be better for next time? Yeah. And it's really good to kind of have those moments, for sure.
We appreciate you, Dr. Jason Glenn.
Yes. But I also think we're each other's coach.
We are. We are.
Because bringing that, like, we've had, like, last couple weeks have been tough, right? Like,
yeah, our co-directorship, let's be real. You know,
just the stress.
Sometimes the cookie starts to crumble, y'all, and we've been crumbling.
Yeah, so the last couple weeks have been just really stressful. It's just been, we've both been really tired, just working through a lot of stuff going on and numbers and different things. And I think we had a really good conversation, uncomfortable conversation last week, but a good conversation. A breakthrough that I think helped me for sure of things of like, okay, this is stuff I need to get better on, and different things. But I think it's coaching me through that of things, but also like helping you with things that I'm seeing or to just help each other be better and help the co-directorship be better in general.
Yeah, I think that's good. I like that. Go coach. Go team. Yeah. Love that. Which leads us really into this good part of number 5, check in on the state of your co-directorship. Yeah. Like we said, like, this is not always glitz and glamour. I'm going to be very honest with you. A co-directorship is not for the faint of heart. No. Like, I think that we are very fortunate that we first started out as, you know, working together, and then it became the friendship. And there are times where I willingly admitted to Shannon this past week that like sometimes it is hard for me to be like, okay, do I make this decision? Do I not? And it's like, I know I'm a director. I know I can say these things. I know I can do this, but it's also sometimes I feel like this is the person that, I won't say raised me, but she helped me get to where I'm at. So it's just like, I don't know. It's like, it's kind of like somewhat like that imposter syndrome. We're getting vulnerable here, people. Yeah. But I think
real
life. That's the thing. But we do check on our co-directorship state. Our team tells us how they feel as well. Thankfully, we got all their feedback. They really love us, which like
we love you guys.
We really do love our team. Like, gonna say your favorite word. They're what?
They're rock stars.
Shannon,
you're all a rock star.
We got to get her something else to say. Gonna get her guitar.
I need a new word.
Yeah, rock star. She's always like, they're rock star. I'm like, okay, they're great, but like, what are some other words we can use to describe them as well? So I think checking in on the state of our co-directorship, I think it's something that we do pretty often. Yeah. And do a good job at as well.
I think we do a good job because I think, again, going back to we trust each other and having those kind of conversations of like learning, like I've been, you know, doing this here at the university for a long time. So it's also hard for me to let go of certain things and things that I've just always done. Just because I've taken it on, or it's like I knew it needed to get done and no one else was doing it. Yeah. So it's hard for me to like not do things, even though I know like that's definitely something in her job description that we both wrote together, and it's not in my job description that we both wrote together. Yeah. But it's a good realization of like, okay, I trust you to do it. Yep. I'm sorry for what I did, but it's like, it's a good checking in of like, I love you and you do it great, but like, let me do my thing.
or it's also the thing of like we said, when we talk about the whiteboard, there'll be things on the to-do list, and like, I'll get so frustrated if like there's something on my to-do list and Shannon's like, I'll do it. And I'm like, I can do it. I'm like, I can. Yeah. And it's just like, it's okay to let go because help is needed. And it's okay to say, you know what, I need help. Like, thank you for doing that for me instead of getting frustrated with it. And I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, we appreciate each other.
We do.
But yeah, no, checking in is good. But also like, because we share an office, we also know when but also because we're friends, we know when we're having like kind of a rough day, and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna let you do your thing. Like, are you good? And you're like, I'm good. Just let me have my moment. Let me just have my day. Yeah. And it's like, okay, like I'm here.
Yeah. The other thing it says, don't everything. This one, I'm not gonna lie, that's hard.
It is hard.
That one I think we're still working through because we're like, when do you we supervise? So this is the thing.
Yeah.
Our team is split up in the sense of, I supervise certain people. Shannon supervises certain people. I supervise a person that does music, international, transfers, and regular admissions. Yep. You supervise people who do regular admissions, special programs, like accepted student reception, all those things. Yep. And it's and athletics, like, forget about sorry coaches, I did not forget you all. The biggest thing. Ugh. And so it's sometimes that thing of like, we know that we supervise two, like it's two teams, but they're one team. Yes. They're one team. Yeah. And so it's like, we know we both lead differently. Yep. And so it's sometimes hard to make that decision. It's like, when do I tell you? When do I not? Yeah. Do I need your approval to make this decision? Do I not? And I think that's something we're both trying to figure out. And I'm not going to be honest. I'm going to be very honest with all of you. We still don't have that figured out yet. No. We don't. I don't know when we will.
I mean, send me an email or send her an email for like vacation time or like time off. But like when it comes to like a lot of other things, it's like, okay, yes, I supervise these people, but like, should that message come from both of us? Mm-hmm. But you know, also not coing everything. Like, you have your thing as well, and I have my thing.
It's kind of like, but you know, it's so funny. Like, when it comes to like decisions with athletics, I don't anything with you. I just make the decision. Or like special programs, you just make the decision. Yeah. So it's like, I think it's when it comes to the bigger picture of like our regular undergraduate students, it's like, that's when we make decisions, I guess. I don't really know what that word, co-make decisions. That's a new word in the dictionary. Co-make decisions. Just put it as one word, Lane. Co-make decisions. It's longer than any word ever. But I think that's like something that we try to do, but trying to figure out is a little hard as well at times. Yeah. It says number 7 is to support more shared leadership models in the organization. You know, I'm kind of like, I will say this. I think the blessing of having a co-directorship, you stated it in the beginning talking about trust, is that when we go into a meeting, Shannon and I are prepared in the sense of, I'm not going to say we know everything because we don't. But what I'm saying is prepared of like being on the same page on on how we're feeling about something. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the way I feel about something is the way she should feel, or the way she feels is the way I feel. But you are going to catch us as a united front because that's what the team needs to see. That's what the rest of our leadership team needs to see. That's what the university needs to see. They don't need to see the sides of us when we're ready just to go at each other's throat. Yeah. But like we said, it's okay that happens, but we do it behind closed doors. And so, you know, supporting more shared leadership models in the organization, I think if you can do it, do it. I think, you know, our campus visit team is kind of doing this now with giving the director of campus visitation of admissions. She has a coordinator at our front desk and then an assistant as well. And she's sharing that leadership role with them in a sense to make sure that all the work gets done, but it's not overwhelming just one person. And it's not a co-directorship, but it's a co-leadership in a sense. Yeah.
It's just like a really specialized, like I'm not delegating, but like it's kind of like a special position for it. And I do think it was great because like we even said when I was on vacation, she was on vacation. When we had to do it alone, it was hard. Like we were both gone for 2 weeks at a time. It
was hard.
It was a long 2 weeks for both of us when the other was gone. But it's realizing like, whoa, like I would have been a lot. Like I would have gone home really tired. So I think it is good. Like if you're finding that your employees that you supervise, or if you see an area that, you know, that person may just be really tired, or like you can just see it in their body language and their tone that they're just not in it, and you can tell. Maybe that's a point of thinking like, how can I potentially not split it up, but maybe how could I help support this person by not taking things off their plate, but maybe just like our campus visit, they have somebody, but then it's somebody that can support them in their duties.
Yeah,
so,
like our director of campus visit is on vacation, like for the first time, and I'm so happy she gets to go on vacation. Like,
we're so excited you're in Italy.
Yes, Renee, we're gonna call you out. Renee, we're so excited that you're in Italy
you deserve it.
You deserve a vacation. Like, I've never seen her take a vacation, and even you can see a change in her. Like, she's a phenomenal person, but even more now than ever because she has such a supportive team. We're gonna shout them out: Brittany and Sarah and Taryn as their grad assistant. Y'all are amazing. Like, we say it all the time that we couldn't do our jobs without you guys, and we couldn't. It's that, like, you start to see a difference in people in a good way,
in a really
good way when you give them the support. That's what it is. It's just having support. And I think too, like what you said, if you see someone that's struggling in a sense, you can take things off their plate and giving them a support. But also, when you create a new position, that's the one thing that we did. There were things added into our job descriptions. Like, it wasn't just take the director of admissions and split it. Like, no, it was split and add.
Yeah, and added. Yeah, so that, but I also think it goes back into, like, it helps for us at enrollment management or in admissions or at a university level, that then can trickle down to the students. So then your students are having a better time. Your students are having a better experience because it's not just one person trying to do a bajillion different things. It's one person that has, 4 people to support them to get those bajillion things done, which I definitely think can be really helpful in the student experience from recruitment to graduation.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Wow. Trying to come for my job?
No. I like my little reports, and I like my queries, and I do like my Excel.
I don't. No. I do not. And the last thing it says to do is to celebrate. I think, when we were told that we were going to do a co-directorship, I wasn't only excited for myself, but I was so excited because I felt like I made you proud.
Yeah.
In a way, like,
you did.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like, I believe when you lead, you should be grooming your replacement. And when I say that, I don't mean somebody to replace physically you in your job. It's replacing your leadership whether you move on or whatever it may be. And I just felt like, we weren't in a good place when I first started here. It was a little rough. Almost 5 years ago it was. Yeah. But, you took me under your wing. You were like, I'm going to teach you what I know. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I was like, wow, the fact that I became a director, like, with you, like, I was like, I made Shannon proud. Like, and I think that I celebrate it more because I wanted that to be in your story of, like, you helped somebody else grow. Yeah. I think I was celebrating too because you were a student here, and now you're deciding who it becomes a student here and sharing that. I think I was celebrating too because, I told you guys in the first episode my story of just I went from Homeland Security to education and celebrating that. Especially, we love Dr. Jason Glenn. I love you, Dad. Like, love both my parents. I love both parents. They both have doctorates. They're both very smart. But I think, I really had to have that heart-to-heart with my dad of, like, I want to go into education. And the fact that I made it to a director position, like, that celebratory moment, my dad was so excited for me. He was, like, screaming on the phone and was like, I'm so proud of you. He's always proud. But, like, I was really celebrating that moment.
Yeah, I definitely think it's was really exciting for both of us to, like I said, really proud of you that you made it in that short amount of time, which isn't super heard of for somebody to move up that quick. But you worked your butt off to do it, and you deserved it. So, like, working your way through, and it's like, oh, like, I was a part of that journey, and being a part of journeys is something that I love. Like, even for students, like, I love being a part of that journey that I may apply, and then they apply, and then they love it.
Yep. All right. Let's jump into this game. Yeah. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, y'all know we play a game at the end of every show, and this don't have nothing to do with co-directorship. Y'all know, y'all don't know something about me. Let me tell you. I am a huge college football fan. Mm-hmm. I have a dog named Athens-George. If you don't know what team I love based off of that name, he's a black golden doodle. If you don't know the name of the team that I love already, based off my dog's name, Athens-George, you need to go watch some college football. But I'm a big college football fan, and so we're kind of going to do a draft today. Because, after college football's over with, they hopefully go to the draft. And so I told Shannon, I was like, Shannon, we're going to do a draft of things you wish were a movie. Now, we're going to start at 5 and then work our way up to our top pick. She has hers covered. We don't know what each other's are at this point in life.
I'm a little excited, but also a little nervous. I was like, ooh, what is she going to have?
Because one of my things is already a movie, but I want it to be something different as
I get
well.
that.
Okay? So, I guess I'll start or you can start.
I'll start.
Go, Shan.
Okay.
Number 5 pick of the draft. Things you wish were a movie.
This one's kind of funny. But you're going to be like, really?
What is it?
I want a movie of Britney Spears' life, and it's going to be called Toxic. I want to know, like, I want the drama. I don't want a documentary. Like, I want it to be a movie. I want, like, the drama. I want the love. I want the whole, from Disney Club until, like, through all of the, to now. Like, I just think that would be such a great roller coaster of a movie. But I just, but she just had a documentary, but I think, like, having it as a movie.
How long would this movie be?
I mean, obviously, you just got to hit the highlights, and she's got a lot of highlights that you can make sure you hit in that plot. But the title would be called Toxic.
I appreciate that. My number 5 pick would be The Office of Admissions at Stetson. I'm sorry. We need a movie, a TV show. I know we say movies, but I'm going to sidebar this one.
Okay.
TV show that turns into a movie. We have some characters.
We do.
In our office. And I love them dearly.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out one of our assistant directors, Marcus Daniel Jones. He is also an adjunct professor here, too. He's like a yogi master, not yet all the way, but he does yoga. He goes rock climbing at this place called Dino Climb here in DeLand. The man does, like, cartwheels sometimes to get re-energized, or like if I'm having a day, I'm like, Marcus Daniel, I need breathing exercises. Like, I just think it would be so funny to have a TV show that turned into a movie about the team that we have now, because they make me laugh. There is never a day I come in the office and I'm not laughing.
Yeah.
And I love
like
that.
like an office theme, but for our
not as socially like
not like awkward, not like not cringy, but like
I'm not gonna lie, I love The Office, but like some of the things that happen in The Office, I'm like, well, that's not acceptable.
Okay.
That's not acceptable in the workplace.
I like that.
Yeah.
I actually think that would be really fun.
Yeah. Sorry, MD, I had to call you out. All right. Who's your 4th pick?
So mine kind of goes with that. My number 4.
Okay.
It's essentially a movie of a recruiter's travel season.
Okay.
So if you don't know of an admissions recruiter travel season, there's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
And there can be a lot of drama. There can be cliques out there. They can be a lot of growth, though. And I think it would just be a great little rom-com.
Somebody find love on the road?
Maybe. I mean, you can meet somebody at another school at a table across the way when you're at a college fair.
Hi, my name is Alexis, and I'm with, like...
But it's just like bonding, you know, it's just the bonding
gotcha.
aspect. I think that would, but also like the funny things that happen on the road, or like
Suitcase breaking.
the suitcase breaking, or maybe like a funny interaction that you have with a student that's like, okay, you know,
Like,
so.
This isn't funny at all, what I'm about to say. So I was at a fair, and oh my goodness, this young lady, her sugar levels got low.
Oh, yeah.
And she passed out in front of my table, and I was like, I mean, I ran to her rescue right in front, but like,
Yes.
that was scary. But it's
Yeah.
like, that'd be in the movie.
Yeah, I do think, and it's,
I remember texting Shannon, I was like, this
Yeah,
girl just passed
I
out. She's like,
think-
I hope you helped her. I'm like, I did.
yeah,
I'm
I think it
texting
can just
after.
be a fun, and it can be someone's like first travel season,
Yeah.
you know, not like a vet or a veteran or anything like that for on the road. So I definitely think something just kind of fun like that.
Microphone kind of just jumped at me.
So that was my 4th one, is a movie of the recruiter on the road.
My number 4 is a remake of Bebe's Kids. You ever seen Bebe's Kids?
No.
Okay, so I love Bebe's Kids. Any of y'all that know Bebe's Kids out there, it's this movie, and I may be quoting this wrong, but it's this guy who likes this woman. It's a cartoon movie, and she has these kids, and he's like, oh, I'll watch them for you, whatever. We'll go to the theme park together, whatever. These kids are so bad. And it is the funniest thing, because at the end, he does love them and realizes like they need a father figure, all these things. But if they did a remake, like a real person, human version of Bebe's Kids, we need it. We need a remake of Bebe's Kids. If you ain't seen Bebe's Kids, you may be able to get on Tubi TV or whatever it is, but yeah, it's out there.
Okay. I like that one. Okay, my number 3 is a book that I am currently reading that I really like.
I feel like yours are so like adultish, and I'm like, oh, I got some child stuff on here.
I had The Life of Britney Spears called Toxic.
Yeah, but you're so adulting. I'm like, when I think of my next 3, I'm like, ooh, she talking about she reading a book right now.
Okay, so it's called The Atlas 6. Oh. So it's about...
Don't tell it all, because if somebody want to read the book...
Well, I'll give you like a synopsis? An abstract?
An abstract is going to tell you the ending.
Okay, not the abstract.
Yeah, I guess a synopsis.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I want to tell you. Anyways. So the Atlas 6, it's essentially like in the future, but it's a sci-fi. Okay. And there are these 6 random people from all different backgrounds that have grown up all differently, but they all have a magical special, not magical, but like a special power. Like one, like they can grow like plants, and the others can read minds, and the other can like move stuff. No.
Great.
But anyway, so like these 6 people are like brought together, and they essentially have to protect this. Essentially, they're like main. It's like a building that holds all like the secrets of the world or whatever, and they're put to tasks. But even on like the back of the book, it says like even though there's 6 of them, only like 4 will move on. So it's essentially like you learn about like all of them, and the book goes from person to person to person. So you read about the different perspectives, and about their different like powers, I guess, which is really cool. But I don't know how it ends. I'm not even to the halfway point. But like
you want this to be a movie though.
I like sci-fi, so like I think it would be really.
I know you do. You love that, and like Vikings and some of
I love that kind of stuff. So I think that would be cool. But if you have an Atlas 6, really good book so far.
Okay.
So yeah.
My number 3 pick. I'm actually gonna have to go. I'm gonna switch my 2 and 3. My number 3 pick is Magic School Bus. Okay, now I know Magic School Bus was like a cartoon movie, but no, we need the real people life version. I'm not sure how you gonna make that bus fly.
CGI.
Who?
My
bad. That's the Lane, don't laugh at me. Who? Her headphones fell off. That was CGI right there. That was Lane. Stop laughing at me. I'm sorry. I was like, CGI.
It was Lane.
All I know is Chat GPT right now. Like I don't CG. Okay. Make the bus fly.
No. I actually think that would be a really good movie.
That would, but like Magic School when they went in the throat and it's like the bus went in the throat. I'm sorry. You know what I'm trying to say.
No, but I do. Like I honestly think that would be great.
I'm actually trying to be Miss Frizzle on Halloween and my dog be the bus. If anybody knows where I can find a bus costume for a golden doodle that is a standard size, his head like hits the table. Speaking of, he's 9 months old today. Shout out Athens George, our chief happiness officer. I'm the best doodle in the world.
9? Holy moly.
We kept him alive for 9 months. Yes, love that. But yeah, I'm on the Magic School Bus.
Okay. I
would love to see
I'd be in line for that.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Number 3.
So, my number 2.
Oh, you're number 2, sorry.
No, yeah, you're good. So, it's another book that I'm also reading. I gotta go back and forth. I get bored easily. So, this one is called Wrong Place, Wrong Time.
That sounds like
so it's definitely like a crime book. It's like a psychological thriller. But essentially,
you love crime.
I don't want to give too much, but also like potential, like a trigger about, what the book is about. It's essentially about a woman that sees somebody die. Mm-hmm. But the murderer is her son. So, but essentially the book goes backwards. So like the book starts on the day of the incident, mm-hmm. and the rest of the book is days leading up to it. Like, how can she solve it beforehand? Oh. So like it's the second chapter is like day -1, and then the next chapter is day -3, but then like the 5th chapter is like day -20 or whatever. So like you're going, like she keeps going backwards in time.
Okay.
To try and figure out, one, why her son did this, or how can she prevent it from happening. But no one else knows this is happening. Like everyone's just in real time, like it's just their regular day. But for her, it's like 4 months from when the book originally started, 4 months back.
Okay.
So it's also, haven't finished it. I am at the halfway point for this one. But it's if you like those kinds of books, it's very, like, the twists and turns. Like, I'm even like, oh, I gotta reread that page because, like, did that just happen? But if you like those kinds of books, it's really good because it's different how it goes backwards, and you're not trying to, like, solve it. You're trying to prevent it.
I like that.
But I think that would be really good.
My number 2 pick. Ooh. Now this, if you know me, then you know me. Okay. Number 2 is Peppa Pig. Now let me tell y'all about Peppa.
I don't know why I didn't think about that. I was like, I don't know what she's gonna put. I didn't even think.
My number 1, I think, is even better. Yeah. But Peppa Pig is a savage. Now I'm gonna say this. I have a brother. Shout out Chad. He is a first grade teacher in Montgomery, Alabama. He taught 3rd grade. He's taught preschool. Your first male educator is what he is. He's like TikTok famous too, so like, which is so cool.
Go Chad.
He does not like Peppa Pig. He's like, Peppa teaches kids bad things. Let me tell you something about Peppa. Peppa is real. Peppa is raw. Peppa gives it to you like nobody else. If you have not seen the Whistle episode, you better watch it. Because when she hung up on Susie's sheep because Susie whistled and Peppa couldn't.
That is true, yeah.
Peppa didn't even, long story short, Peppa couldn't whistle. She called her friend Susie sheep. Susie was like, what's whistling? She's like, you put your lips together and blow. And she said like this and blew, right? And she whistled. Peppa didn't say bye. Peppa didn't say, wow, you can whistle. Peppa hit the click, dial, tone. Peppa said,
hang up,
boom. And Susie's like, Peppa. Peppa was gone. Can we please turn this into a movie for adults? Because there's other clips online of Peppa just being very just Peppa-ish. And I love Peppa Pig. Like, when I wear pink shoes in the office, everybody knows it's a Peppa Pig day. When I wear a pink dress, pink. I just love Peppa. I have 2 Peppa Pig like stuffed animals on my desk. I didn't buy them. I had a colleague buy them for me, but I still love Peppa.
Yeah, I do actually think that would be a good movie.
Maybe for adults.
The thought of it though, like the concept of Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig is a bomb.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've seen the clips that you showed me.
Because I just start dying of laughter. All right. What is your number 1 draft pick of things that you wish were a movie?
Okay.
I'm ready.
Another trigger warning. The Idaho murders. Moscow.
What is
about that? About the house in Idaho. The movie would be called Moscow. Because it happened in Moscow, Idaho. And it was essentially about it was in the house and 4 of the students of the university got killed, and then 1 was left alive, and then it was a manhunt for the man, and now they found him. But he waived his right for a speedy trial, so who knows when that's gonna happen. But I think the movie itself would be a very horror thriller kind in the future, kind of once we know the outcome of the trials or anything like that. But I do think that could be. 1, I really want the documentary on it. I'm waiting. 2, my friends and I have a group chat, my sorority sisters, and when it was happening, some of my sisters were they knew information that, I don't know how they got. I love you guys, but it was super, we love those types of crime documentaries, that crime stuff. But I think that would be really interesting. 1, again, so I want 2 parts. I want the documentary because I want to know more about it. 2, I think it would be a really crazy thriller horror movie.
Wow. Well, I'm in this on a lighter note.
Yeah, ended up, but that would be my first go-to.
My number 1 pick. Now, my brother wanted me to pick the Boxcar Kids, and I couldn't do it. Sorry, Jason, I couldn't do it. Yeah. My number 1 pick goes to my girl, Junie B. Jones. Let me tell you, Peppa is more modern day Junie B. But that darn Junie B. Jones.
Yeah.
Now look, I was getting all them accelerating reading points, and I was going to all the pizza parties because I could read.
That's why you've
Junie
talked
B.
about
Jones.
it for she's been mentioning it yesterday and today, and I'm like, why is she mentioning this all of a sudden? And now it clicks.
I love Junie B. My mom always used to be like, I don't care if you read the books, but don't be like Junie B at school. I'm like, Mom, I'm not going to be Junie B because I know you'd get me when I got home. Junie B was that person who just didn't take no crap from nobody. And I really wish we'd turn that into a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Junie B. Jones, and I think that she's amazing, and I wonder if kids still read Junie B. Jones to this day. If anybody has the books, please send them to Stetson so I can read them, because I really want to reread the books.
At the attention of Alexis Glenn.
Yeah, at the attention of me. Like, I really want to reread the Junie B. Jones books. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally working on a doctorate, and I really want to read Junie B. Jones books. Like, I just think it just brings back the nostalgia and the accelerated reading points and the pizza parties and, oh, Junie B. My girl, Junie B. Well, y'all, that's the end of the show. I gotta go because I now want to go read Junie B.
Next time we come, I know she may have a stack of Junie B books just to show us.
I really want to read Junie B. Jones.
I say you get it.
I know. All right, guys. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to episode 3 of Code with the Flow.
Bye.
Bye.